Government intervention. Spotlight on China and Germany. Economists have long used trade theories to make the case for free trade, which is basically defined as the unrestricted flow of products, services, and physical and intellectual capital across national borders. Free trade is believed to help increase living standards for all, and many see it as good practice for the world. In reality, however, there is no such thing as unimpeded free trade. Governments around the world have been intervening in trade and investment to pursue economic, political, or social objectives through policies that promote job growth and economic development. Intervention can help better serve the interests of the nation's firms and industries. Governments may devise regulations to stimulate development of homegrown industries. Intervention can take many forms. Governments may impose tariffs and quotas, place restrictions on international investment, or require bureaucratic procedures and regulations that restrict the flow of trade. In addition, the government may provide subsidies and financial incentives intended to support domestic firms and industries in ways that hamper the expansion efforts of foreign firms. In this video, we'll take a look at how the governments in Germany and China have intervened in their economies to achieve their economic, social, and political objectives. We'll explore why these two governments have intervened in trade and investment. China. Looking at China, initially under Mao, the state kept a firm grip on the country's economic activity. That grip has been loosening since the 1980s as a result of Deng Xiaoping's reforms, which introduced some strong capitalist characteristics into China's centrally planned economy. In today's model, market forces work in conjunction with state ownership and intervention. This system is commonly referred to as a socialist market economy with Chinese characteristics. China's economy consists of state-owned entities, public companies, and privately held firms, all operating under the watchful eye of the Communist Party. More than 110,000 state companies dominate lucrative parts of the economy, such as oil, cigarettes, telecommunications, and real estate. Various ministries intervene by managing the regulatory and planning issues for specific industries, including electronics, chemicals, coal, water resources, and the power sector. Tariffs and other forms of intervention can generate substantial revenue. For example, China uses tariffs in the form of taxes to control the trade of rare earth exports. Rare earth minerals such as scandium, yttrium, and promethium are essential ingredients for manufacturing a wide range of products from cars to cell phones. China produces 95% of these elements and taxes exports at up to 25%, enabling the government to both control trade and generate revenues. Governments often impose import barriers to protect employment in designated industries. Insulating domestic firms from foreign competition stimulates national output, leading to more jobs in the protected industries. The effect is usually strongest in import-intensive industries that employ much labor. For example, the Chinese government has traditionally required foreign companies to enter its huge markets through joint ventures with local Chinese firms. This policy creates jobs for Chinese workers. For example, a joint venture between Shanghai Automotive Industry Corporation, SAIC, and Volkswagen created jobs in China. Burdened by widespread pollution, the Chinese government is seeking to lead the green revolution by spending significant amounts on research and development of new green technology. For example, eSolar, a U.S. solar thermal startup company, signed a $5 billion deal with Beijing to build plants in China, giving the Chinese critical access to the company's American-developed technology. The Chinese government is being even more aggressive than the United States by giving companies like eSolar fast-track loans and local government support. Government intervention is enabling China to develop key industries ahead of global competitors. In the process, China holds much potential for making clean power technologies cheaper for itself and much of the rest of the world. Preserving and promoting a political philosophy is a key reason for government intervention. Baidu is China's leading internet search engine, controlling 63% of the market. In 2010, the competitive landscape became easier when Google had to limit its operations after running into a conflict with the government over censorship. In contrast, Baidu, founded by two overseas Chinese in 2000, has managed to placate the government by proactively censoring and restricting access to many websites in China. For political purposes, the Communist Party is keen to keep close control on the internet, and as a result, Baidu benefits from its government-friendly strategy. Germany. Traveling 4,600 miles west to Germany, we can see how the government has intervened to create the world's fifth largest economy. Germany's economic development has been shaped in large part by its lack of natural resources, making it highly dependent on other countries. Since the end of World War II, successive governments have sought to retain the basic elements of Germany's complex economic system. Known as the Sozialmarktwirtschaft, which means social market economy, Germans take pride in their economy, which has financial strength with a human dimension focused on providing a safety net for workers. Germany's socially responsible market economy encourages competition and free initiative, enabling its industries to develop and prosper. When needed, the government has devalued the currency, helping to boost exports, making it the world's second largest exporter behind the United States. Germany's innovative economic model has encouraged close cooperation between financial and industrial firms. Banks have traditionally had a seat on the board of German companies, in contrast with American or British firms. For example, the CEO of Deutsche Bank sits on the Siemens board of directors. These types of close alliance have given banks close access to company financial information and, more importantly, given German companies access to critical sources of capital. German regulatory boards routinely work with industries and between companies to promote growth in key technologies. Like China, a key example is in green technology. Germany has promoted an industrial policy that has nurtured solar power for almost a decade with incentives known as feed-in tariffs. These tariffs oblige utilities to buy all the electricity generated from renewable sources, such as windmills and solar panels, at a high price for a long period. While this makes the solar industry expensive, the industrial policy encourages German companies to develop their capabilities ahead of their global competitors. German Solar World, which manufactures solar panels and silicon chips, is a dominant player in the global market. Governments intervene in trade to protect their nation's economy, industry, as well as promote and preserve social, political, and economic structures and philosophies. We've seen how Chinese and German governments have successfully intervened to enable their export-led economies to expand and prosper.